What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the Real Fan Sports Channel, where today, Nonpfixion and myself are going to be giving you our tier list of all the NBA teams broken down by each division. Make sure to let us know whether you agree or disagree with how we ranked your favorite teams. Don't hold back on the account of us, but also don't forget to hit that like button and check out the rest of the tier list breakdown that will be linked at the end. Hope you'll have a great one, guys. Cheers. All right, so we're going to start off with the Southwest. We're going to check out the Dallas Mavericks. Dallas Mavericks, pulled a little bit of surprise. I didn't think they were as good as what they did. I didn't think they were going to get up to, just a couple games away from the finals. But they did it. Went up against Golden State Warriors. Got handled pretty well. They finished last year 52-30. They did add one piece that I think does make them a little bit better, but they did lose a piece that makes them a good bit worse. They went ahead and got rid of Brunson, like we said earlier, who went to the Knicks. And then they went ahead and grabbed Christian Wood from the Rockets. They still have Luka. They also got McGee, Finney Smith, Dinwiddie, Bullock. But, those guys are just kind of role pieces. They really don't have anyone that stands right next to Luka real tall that you can be confident in to take the game away if Luka's having an off night or just to give that man a rest. What's your thought about the Babs?
Welcome to the Dallas Mavericks. If you're a fan of Dallas Mavericks, you know that Mark Cuban, he doesn't really spend money the way he should. He's a millionaire. Of course, he's on a Shark Tank, but he should be a Shark Tank for his team and actually get better players. You have some good role players that surround him, but at the same time, Luca has to carry too freaking much. He has to do too much, and because of that, it's going to be situations like it was this last season. He's gonna either tire himself out or get injured to a point where, of course, a Brunson and a Dinwiddie have to take over. But of course, with Brunson being gone, we don't have that in the picture no more. Dinwiddie still has the potential, but Dinwiddie just hasn't shown up, and so because of that, the bulk of it definitely has a good squad. I mean, they're a playoff contender for sure. They're probably like a fifth, fourth seed. I could say, that's a possibility in that range, either fifth to sixth. But because look at when we're in the playoffs, the shooters didn't show up to be shooters. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a part of the reason why they didn't get past where they need to get past. They weren't going to be a team that was going to shoot the lights out. They didn't have
And
the potential.
And it wasn't like they weren't getting open either. They
They
were
were
getting
wide
open.
open.
They just were missing shots. There were several times when we were covering those games that I was just sitting here like, just make it, just knock it down. Because it's like, it's right there. It's right in front of you. You don't have no one. You don't have a hand in your face. Everyone's
Oh
still
yeah,
out of the
they were
paint.
just
It's like, oh, you just can't make it. But that is the problem. And when it comes down to having all role players, they have all amazing, great
all yeah.
depth of role players. They don't have another star. And in today's NBA, it is really hard to make it to a championship. It's really, and they've done it consistently, make it to the playoffs, but it's hard even to make it to playoffs without a second beast out there. And they just don't have it. So, I mean, where do you want to
I
put the
agree.
Mavs? I mean, I don't know if I want to put them A. I kind of got them at B or low A. I don't know. What's your thoughts?
It's so much work for Luca to hold down the squad by himself. Even though Bleacher Report put him as the best point guard, which is Bleacher Report. You come on now. Anyways, but I would say as of right now, I would say probably like a low A.
The Grizzlies, I know, man. I know you hate them. Yeah, you have to hate, or you have to dislike them. We don't hate nobody, but we got to dislike them a little bit. Grizzlies finished off 56-26 last year. Uh, they got Ja, they got Bane, they got
Mm-hmm.
Brooks. They got that young grittiness to them that makes it feel like, they're all kind of like veterans on the court in a way, just with like a little bit of immaturity. I think that's the only thing that hinders them is just immaturity in certain moments where it's like,
Yeah,
I just would like you to just like, instead of taking in adversity and then trying to bounce it right back out with some type of smack talk, sometimes you just need to take it in and then just show it up on the court and then allow them to talk afterwards.
yeah, yeah.
Not before you actually show up to the game. But I really like the Grizzlies. I really like Ja. Ja gives me flashbacks of Allen Iverson, who's one of my favorite players. But where do you got him? What's your thoughts on the Memphis Grizzlies?
I think they're pretty high. Like, and I don't hate the Grizzlies. I don't hate the Grizzlies. I do. I think that themselves humbling themselves can get them a lot further than just talking trash all the time. Because when you talk trash, and of course when you beat Warriors by 50, then the last game you can't do anything. The last two games you can't do anything. It's that talking. That talking it makes your head bigger than what it should be. They're very talented. They're top tier West. They're very top tier. But just calm down a little bit. let the game come to you. Don't try to just take the gritty to everybody because it don't work sometimes. You gritty on somebody's logo and look what happened. You lost. You went home.
As far as the tier, man, I really I think they're definitely A. They're definitely A. They're better than the Mavs.
They are better. I do think they're better.
I'm contemplating whether or not I think that they should be the first West contenders for the championship.
Maturity is what throws it off because everybody compares them to 2015 Warriors, but at the same time, Warriors weren't immature compared to them. The skill level, I could see the teams being the same, but the maturity level is just different.
In that instance, let's go ahead and say let's put them like kind of higher side of A.
I mean, just for instead because it's West, I'll put them right there. So this is all East, and they'll be at the top of the West.
After that, we got my New Orleans Pelicans. I'm gonna say this right now as a Pelicans fan. If Zion can play like 50 games this year, I think we get a no lower than a fifth seed, but I really see in us being a third, possibly fourth seed. I don't think we go up any above that, but I could see us being a third or fourth seed. We got, Brandon Ingram coming into full form now, coming into his prime. We got the young guys, Herb Jones, one of the better defenders in the league. Didn't get enough love last year for it. During preseason, he blocked the guy's shot over a pick. A guy set a pick. He jumped over the pick and blocked the shot. It didn't make sense. I didn't know it was humanly possible to do that. They got Trigger Trey. They have Jose Alvarado, Grand Theft Alvarado, what you want to call it. They still have the veterans and Larry Nance and CJ McCollum that they got extensions to. Man, I'm excited. It's the first time in a long time I've been excited about Pelicans basketball, probably since like 2008-ish. I have them above Dallas. I think they're better than Dallas.
I do think they're better than Dallas. I definitely want to see how this first month and a half for them is. I want to see how they bounce back from because they should have beat Phoenix, but there was something about the team, maybe not maturity level, maybe just experience level, where CJ McCollum wasn't enough to get them over that hump. So I think for me, they're floating between an A and B tier. It would be high top of the B and middle pack of the A tier. That's how I look at it.
Yeah. And guys, so y'all know the way we do rankings, if it's my team, Non picks a spot, Non, throw them at the B. After that, we're going to go check out the San Antonio Spurs. And I don't have the direct quote, but it was basically Ko Popovich said that don't expect us to win a championship this year. They lost Dejounte Murray. They got a young team. They really don't have a whole lot, really going for this team. And, I love Coach Pop. He makes miracles happen, but he ain't turning water into wine this time. They're going ahead and probably going to join that sweepstake. I'd say out of respect for Coach, I might put him lost at sea, but honestly, Pop might be like, we're just going to go ahead and grab someone really good next year. So they might want to be a part of the sweepstake.
It's a possibility they may be making that push for the sweepstakes. It's weird because I can never imagine Pop doing that just because of how Pop coaches.
Yeah.
So if it was minus the sweepstakes, I'd probably put them at they'd be the first West team in the C tier.
All right, let's put them at C. So. And then we're gonna go ahead to the Rockets, last team in the Southwest. Rockets got Jalen Green, Porter, Jabari Smith, and they grabbed the great. And when I say great, I mean this dude's in movies, right? Boban, all right. He tried to kill John Wick. Houston Rockets finished 20-62 last year. They got a young team. They did lose Christian Wood, which I think makes them a little bit worse. I like their young team, but I think they're either lost at sea or I think they're sweepstake. I mean, it's kind of hard. It's not like they made a dramatic change last year during the offseason. It makes it feel like they could jump out of being lost at sea or possibly getting a number one pick. Where do you got them?
I mean, Houston definitely provided some great memes last season because obviously they didn't think Steph was that dude, and they tried their best to dog him out, and he put him up on notice, let him know like I'm that guy. You know what I'm saying? So the ownership of Houston has never been to me the greatest. They make some very questionable decisions when it comes to their team. I could say the loss at sea. And still the sweepstakes, or even just a C tier.
Well, they got to go on one. Let's go ahead and spice it up. What do you think? Lost to C or sweepstakes? I'm down for either or. Lost to C looks a little low. Like the Knicks look a little.
Let's go lost at C. They need some company over